And now, weighing in out of the blue corner, Josh the Punk Thompson. 100%. And on the other mic, he weighs in from the red corner, Big Sean McCarthy.
Oh, yeah, we are back. The Weighing In podcast is here to talk about all of the upcoming fights that are coming. We've got the UFC with a big, I hate to say pay-per-view because that means I got to put more money out. But big pay-per-view. We've got Bellator coming to you from Paris and from London. We have the PFL and the return of the richest woman in fighting MMA, Kayla Harrison. God bless her. I love that. Josh, my man, what is happening, dude?
Holy shit. Kayla Harrison is rich.
Yeah, I love her.
Damn.
Way to do it.
She's just like,
you
show
go,
me
girl.
the money. Show me the money. This girl, man, she is a stud. I texted her the other day and said, hey, I want to wish you the best of luck. And,
Did the same.
you know, take care of your business, man. The girl she's fighting, she fought in the UFC.
Go ahead and say that name.
Bellator.
Go ahead.
She,
Yeah,
I
know, and you can never say her
I can't.
name.
Mochachina.
Marina.
Yeah, I can say. I just
I
call
can
her
say
Marina.
Marina.
Yeah.
Aren't you going to Paris?
what I
You
said.
better practice that accent.
What is that?
I said, you're going to Paris. You better practice your
Paris?
pronunciation.
Paris?
She's not from Paris, is she?
No,
but
she's
just-
from Russia.
You got, I know, but just practice. You practice like your
What does
eloquency and
Paris
your
have to
words
do
over
with
there.
it?
Because you're. Have you not heard that language? It's beautiful.
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 Beautiful. I like that.
Unlike Scottish language.
Unlike your impression of it.
You know what's funny is when I give Dave a hard time and people in the comments get so mad at me. So mad at me. They're like, you guys better not fucking piss him off. He's gonna end up leaving. And I'm like, I live in Silicon Valley. You know how many fucking the podcast Daves? They're plentiful around here. I'll replace his ass so fast. So fast. No, I love Dave. You guys have to understand. Dave and I are like, and just like with John and I, we're like buddies, man. Like I was gonna say locker room talk, but it's I don't want to get it construed with other locker room talk that we've heard in the past. But no, we like to dig at each other. That's what makes this whole thing fun. If we didn't dig at each other, this shit would be boring. It'd be boring
Exactly.
as hell. I have too much fun with
People
these
have no idea how much you have backed up podcast, Dave.
Yeah.
Yes, you have. People,
No, I
they
like
don't
the guy.
understand. You're a loyal man there, Josh Thompson. I like that about you, baby. But we do have to come up with, off camera, we have been talking about the 8-minute mile. And there has got to be a bet. There has got to be a bet. Because Josh is talking about, when I was in high school, I ran a 4-minute and 50-second mile. Right? That's
Josh
really
is jealous
fucking
because he could
interesting.
never run a mile.
Dude,
That's
first
why
off,
John's
let me
talking
tell you
shit.
here. Let me make this as clear as I can for you. If you fucking have to run a mile in 450, you parked your fucking car too far from the problem. Do you understand that?
That's true.
Spoken like a true cop.
That's true.
Thank you very
Spoken
much,
like a
okay?
true cop. That's
So,
hilarious.
We have got to have a weighing in competition of Dave has to run. What do you want to say, Dave? One,
Well,
2, 3,
the
4,
problem
5?
is that Josh is saying I ran a mile in 4 minutes. What Josh doesn't realize is that I'm running 5 miles in 8 minutes.
Okay,
at an
stop.
average pace.
So hold on. You don't have to run 5 miles. You're going to run 1 mile. How
Okay.
fast can you run 1 mile in?
I'll do
Come on.
I'll do 1 mile in 6 minutes.
6 minutes. Okay. Do you think you can do it?
No.
Okay. He's saying no way. All right. So you're saying no way.
There's no
So
way.
Dave, your goal is to run the 1 mile in 6 minutes. Josh,
There's no way.
how fast can you run 1 mile?
I would probably say like around 6:30 right now.
Ooh,
Somewhere around
6:30.
6:30.
So you get
Yeah.
more time than Dave. Dave, are you up for that challenge?
I'm a realist.
You're being a realist.
I'm a realist.
Okay, hold on. So hold on.
Six-
Let's
yeah,
make
6:35, somewhere
let's
in
make
there.
this even. Both of you, your goal is 6 minutes.
I have a question.
No. Your goal
no,
is
I have a
6
question.
minutes.
I
Stop
have a
real quick. Don't
question.
even bring me into this running bullshit. Okay.
No, we're not.
So your goal for both of you is 6 minutes. The person that gets closest to the time wins.
Okay, and
I have a question.
and I just want to be clear: are we both physically running a mile in 6 minutes, or is Josh running his mouth for 6 minutes and I'm actually running a mile?
Ah, very nice. Very nice. Well played.
Well,
played.
yeah, if he was running his mouth, he could do it in 4 minutes and 50
Oh,
seconds.
for sure. Maybe even faster than that. For sure. I have a question. Are we not making any adjustments for fucking how old I am compared to this young 31-year-old?
No, because you're a much you're a pro athlete.
I'm much what?
You're a much
Can you
better
imagine?
athlete. I'm being good here. You're a much
my
better
gosh.
athlete at
wow.
At one time you ran a 4 minute and 50 second
Have you not
mile.
talked to Dave? I mean, he's like a future WWE star. Like he's a full on true athlete.
Well,
I'm trying to figure this out. Like he played soccer before.
What do you
can
want?
run.
You want 30 seconds?
No,
Ooh.
Baby boy.
30,
are you going to give the 30 seconds, Dave?
So I can do it in 7 minutes. Then I said
No,
6:30.
Yes.
No,
I said I said that was
No,
the pace.
because we
6:30.
brought it to a 6 minute mark.
Oh, look.
He can have 6:30 if he wants.
I say we do this. This is what I say. I say whoever can run the 5 miles the fastest.
Fine.
That was the original conversation. Whoever can run the 5 mile the fastest.
Dude, I just put you. Why would you want to run an extra 4 miles?
I don't want to run an extra 4 miles,
because it's easy work, buddy. Easy work.
I mean, I'll shave
because
off.
I know when it comes down to, hey, if you got to push a little bit harder than me, that shit ain't happening. That's what I know.
So what's going to be your pace? What's going to be your pace on 5 miles?
Doesn't matter what my pace is. It's going to be faster than yours.
Well, okay. So is it
At
just a matter
almost
of
45 years old? At almost 45 years old, I'm rounding up, by the way.
I'm
Okay?
wondering.
It will be
you are.
faster than yours. And
wondering-
you're 14 years younger than me.
I'm wondering which friend at your gym you're going to get to run the 5 miles for you.
I don't need a friend. I still run. I still do that. I'm active. my wrist is hurt right now, not my fucking legs.
Ooh.
Oh, let's go, son.
All right, let's do it.
Dave,
Fastest
what are we
pace.
doing?
Yeah.
Okay,
remember, we
fastest
try to
pace
get
at 5 miles.
fastest
then.
pace of 5 miles. Yeah.
Fastest
well-
pace for 5 miles. Now, how you gonna?
See, this is the thing. Like,
When are you going to run it though? 'Cause
I
you're
have
gone
to.
for
I
2
have to
weeks.
buy one of those things, one of those like Fitbits or something. I don't know what it is that tracks your miles.
No,
right?
I'll send you an app that I use, and we'll
okay.
in fact,
Do it
I'll
on
send
your
you the
phone.
app. We can add each other as friends on the app, and it will show us in real time the running thing, and we'll know exactly when we ran it. And
Does it show you heart rate?
I don't
Because
know.
if it doesn't show you heart rate, I will join this and I'll just get on a fucking motorcycle and just go really slow.
What a guy! What a guy!
I'll have my neighbor film it as well. Just that way, I've got some video evidence, and then. But we'll need to reassess
Your
when you
neighbor
get back.
film what? Like one block? He's not going to follow you for 5 miles.
He's got a golf cart. He's got a golf cart.
Oh,
You can follow me around. So what are you going to do? Are you going to do it in Paris, or are you going to do it when you get back?
No, I got to do it when I get back. I'm not going to do it when I'm traveling.
Oh, I'll tell you what.
That's
See,
a
I'll
no-
join the
that's-
competition. I'll do the one wheel for the 5 miles.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, he won't
Hey!
make it back alive.
All right, more
You have
details
no
to come on
idea how
this.
difficult that is on your legs.
Yeah, I don't doubt it. Kane used
Oh,
to have
dude.
one. He had one of the first ones, Kane Velasquez.
Dude, it will fuck up your lower legs.
And how bad it is on your face when you hit a rock and go flying
That's
off it
bad too.
forwards.
It's not a rock.
Can't
rock
be any
does
worse
nothing
than
to it.
fucking a tree in your ribs, but whatever.
Yeah, you
right,
know
well-
what? Be an adventurer.
We will circle back on this when you guys get back from traveling. But you guys
All
have
right.
a long schedule.
Yeah, I want to make
ahead.
sure I got some time
so-
to like get back and get all the fucking.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
right.
make
Butters out of me.
Josh run in Paris. He's gonna be running circles around the Eiffel Tower.
Oh, easy, easy work.
So we have UFC 274 coming up this weekend. We're going to start there because we are going to do weighing in and the odds on that same show. So just to break it up a little bit, we're going to start with the UFC, talk about the Friday night fights, and then we'll come back to weighing in and the odds. Okay,
Let's go.
take it
Oh,
away,
look at
guys.
that.
Let's go. Let's
Detroit
go.
boxing. Detroit boxing.
boxing. Yeah. You gave me this shirt.
Yeah, they sent us
Thank you
over
very
some
much.
shirts, man. I want to give them shout out to Detroit boxing, man. All right, let's go.
All right, we talked a little bit about Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. Tell me your way for Charles Oliveira to win.
Oh, I like this. John's mixing it up today, buddy.
Fucking
Like
A,
that.
baby.
I like
There
that a
you
little
go,
bit.
man. Got to change it up.
This podcast is brought to you by MyBookie.ag. Did you hear me? MyBookie.ag. Use that promo code Weighing In Tell them that John and I sent you, or actually just click in the promo code Wayne, and they'll know that we sent you there. They'll give you a little extra spending cash on your first initial deposit at mybookie.ag when you guys let them know that you sent us by typing in that promo code Wayne. And look, we got some things that we're going to talk about later on in this show, so make sure you guys tune in. We got Justin Gaethje versus Charles Oliveira, Carla Esparza versus Rose Namajunas. We're going to do a Wayne in on the odds later on in this show, and hopefully you guys can make a little extra spending cash. Use that QR code right there, the one off to that side right there. And when you click that, use our promo code Wayne in at mybookie.ag for your first initial deposit. They'll give you some extra spending cash. And hey, hopefully we can make you guys some money. Look, my way is for him to not shoot takedowns. My way is for him to do what he did to Tony Ferguson. He punched his way into the clinch, got to the body locks, big lifts, big slams, was able to get to the back, was able to work his way from takedowns from there. That's the way he's got to be. I think in the clinch, he is the better fighter. Just from the knees, the elbows, all of those things together. Justin Gaethje has a tendency to kind of like hang on the head with his body away for the knees to come up the middle. We saw that. I think it was with Dustin Poirier. No, it was with Eddie Alvarez. The knees up the middle were key. The uppercuts were key. I think in those positions, Charles Oliveira is the better fighter in the clinch. Now, in terms of if they get into the clinch, the grappling aspect of it all. Charles Oliveira, all he's got to do is shrug the arm by. Now, easier said than done, everyone. We understand that. I understand that. Okay, but let's just be honest. Justin Gaethje throws big heat. He has dialed it down since making his second run to the title. Since that first, when he first came in against Michael Johnson, Eddie Alvarez, those guys, he used to just be the guy that was the World Series of Fighting champion, that came forward, big punches, did crazy stuff. I think he understands what's at stake now with Ali managing all these champions and him not getting a piece of that pie. He knows how much money that there is to make in this process. So why keep fighting stupid? Okay, even though it's entertaining, are you not entertained? Yes, we are very entertained. But look, he's a stud. We've always said he's a stud. He fights recklessly and careless, but I think Charles can take advantage of that if he does go back to that a little bit. If he has to dig deep and start just biting down on the mouthpiece and throwing, Charles will be able to make it easier for himself to get to the hips, shrug the arm by, get to the back, jump to the back, or get to the back, or get a takedown from that position. Charles is a tall guy. So the lifts and the slams will be there if he can get to the side control or like from the back against the fence, any of that stuff. All he's got to do is lift and take him down. If he lifts and takes him down, you got to remember, and I know this a long time ago. Remember Luis Firmino, Buscape?
Yeah,
he was able to take him down
multiple times.
Look, he's got good wrestling, but I said it with Khabib, and I'm going to say it again.
It changes when you're throwing.
It changes when you're throwing. It also changes as you start to get a little bit tired. He also is very comfortable with giving up certain positions. Okay, you can get to my side. People have gotten to his back before and standing. They just don't have the grappling that Charles has. And Charles gets on your back. He is a stud. He's a finisher. He's someone that will transition from one to the next.
Yeah, he doesn't just go for the neck.
Yeah, he doesn't just go for the neck. He'll go back. He'll go arm. He'll go maybe even knee bar if you stand up. He'll do all different types of stuff. And he'll sometimes, majority of the time, end up on top. That's how Charles Oliveira is going to have to get this thing done. Standing in that danger zone, though, is how not to get it done against Justin Gaethje.
And
that's the only concern.
If you're going to talk about what's Justin Gaethje's route to victory here, distance control. Distance control is everything for Justin Gaethje in this, because I do agree with you. The clinch can be a problem for him because it takes one slip, one little mistake, and now you've got a guy that is a frickin' python on your back, and you're fighting for your life. You're defending, and it just becomes this bad, evil spiral that keeps on coming at you. So distance control for Justin Gaethje. Make Charles Oliveira pay in that at least boxing zone. He can box with him, no problem. His kicks are very quick. They're short. He can still throw his kicks to the legs inside. He can upset his balance. And if there's one thing that Charles does, Charles brings his hands up very high for his defense in a lot of it, but he can be split down the middle. And Justin Gaethje's got a beautiful right uppercut, left hook that he throws. And when he throws that, it's got bad intentions on it, and Charles has a tendency, when he sees something, to start dipping his head down. That uppercut will raise his head up, and that hook will put him to sleep. So what I see for Justin Gaethje is, first off, don't go and try to knock his head off. What you want to do is I want you to just start putting dents in him. Just keep on touching him. Make him start to slow down his ability to defend. Keep that distance control. Don't come into the clinch situations. Obviously, stay away from putting your back against the cage. If you put your back against the cage, it's going to be bad. Try to put him on his back foot, which is not going to be easy now because Charles Oliveira is very good at least holding his ground. He will try to come forward, but he will at least hold his ground. So let him hold his ground. You hold your ground and keep that distance control and just start piecing him up in this fight, and you will become the champion.
He's got to. I think Justin's got to minimize how many kicks he throws because they can be caught pretty easily. The other thing as well that Charles does well is he lifts his leg a lot in that lead leg to avoid the calf kick and also to avoid the leg kicks because he understands if he gets pushed over or knocked down or he loses his balance, come on down, buddy. Yeah. I'm here waiting for you. And that's going to be that's obviously not going to happen. Like if he loses his balance or if he throws
not
head
unless
kicks,
Justin loses his mind.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah, it's true. Like I don't understand. Not that I don't understand. I don't see a world where Justin should be throwing the leg kicks a whole lot, especially early in the fight. As the fight goes on and the timing starts to lose, like timing starts to go away, I think maybe you start to avoid, you start to throw the leg kicks a little bit more. And then in terms of the body punching, I think he might have some opportunities there. He just got to make sure he doesn't hang his head too much to get put into that front headlock, or he doesn't dip so much to where it's easy for him to kind of shuck him down and try to get to that front headlock, of course. Because anytime you dig to the body, your head drops, about waist level or maybe mid chest level. It makes it easier for them to get to that front headlock. Now, I do agree with you 100% that the way that Justin wins this fight is by distance control. He's got to make sure he keeps his back off the fence. He's got to make sure that he's not fighting him in a phone booth. He's got to make sure that he's staying long with his striking, and he's kind of pushing him around. So even though he's pushing him around, he's not closing that distance.
Yeah.
He can't afford for Charles to be taking the center of the cage and waiting for him to come to him. And then as he comes in, he's going to have to overcommit to land the striking, and easier for Charles to get in on the body lock, easy for Charles if Charles does shoot, for him to get in on a double leg. Any of those things can happen. It really comes down to Charles is so good on the ground, John, that not a lot of people understand how to deal with him, because you have to remember it takes away some of the kicks. It takes away some of the way you fight in terms of in the clinch. Like Justin's real good at grabbing the head and clinching it, and uppercuts and knees and all of those things. He's a dog in those areas. Yep. Well, he's got to be cautious doing that against Charles, because Charles in the grappling, he could just jump guard, and I've seen him do it before. He's just jumped to guard. And if he pulls him down, there's all sorts of weapons that he has from that bottom position. Justin's got good heavy hands. He's got some good ground and pound. But let's be honest. If I'm going to take Justin's ground and pound or Charles Oliveira's grappling, I'm going to take his grappling. I'm going to take Charles Oliveira's grappling.
I mean, you have to, and you're exactly right. He does need to be careful of where he puts his head. But I do believe that in this, when you talk about Justin is very good at forcing his opponent in the direction that he wants them to go.
Yep.
You saw that, and this is where Michael Chandler had problems, and you look and you go, it's because he was not in control. He was the guy, he's coming forward at times, and you would see Justin step off and off-center Mike, and he would force Mike to come back to that center, and as soon as Mike came, boom, here it came, because he's forcing him in the direction he wants him to go. He's really good at that. And so Charles needs to be careful of those situations because he can get caught coming into a heavy shot. It's a great matchup, and both guys can win, and that's why you love this kind of fight. And, obviously the ground belongs to Oliveira. If you're going to say who's got the advantage in the stand-up, it has to be Gaethje. Although Oliveira's stand-up is good. He's technically very good, but you got to give it to Gaethje. He's the dog in this. He will take shots to give shots, and Charles has to avoid that situation. Charles has come a long ways in that he's a different fighter now. He will take shots, but he can only take so many, and he's been put down multiple. He got put down by Chandler. He got put down by Poirier. Now he came back. Can't say anything, tough as hell, but he did get put down, and you can only take so many of those before it's the one that's going to put you down that you can't recover from. So, great matchup. I love this one.
I I think if Charles fights Justin the way he fought Dustin and the way he fought Chandler, there's a good chance he loses.
Yeah.
Because I got the vibe, I got the feeling after watching both those. He thought he could stand a little bit to let them know, hey, this is who I am, which led to him getting dropped in both occasions. And then it was the grappling, and then there was the he started utilizing after that really changed the dynamic of the fight.
Well, I think
because
the end of the round in round one changed the concept of the fight for the Chandler fight, and then he got the beautiful left hook that put Chandler on his butt. But yeah, I mean, you take a look and you can only take so much.
Yep.
It's tough.
That's true. I mean, that's true. Justin's been taking it for a while, though, John. He's been dropped.
Yeah.
He's been knocked out. But the one thing that I think, this is the biggest thing that I think will be a big difference is, if you, like you just said, you brought up the Chandler situation. He fought a very, very smart fight in that fight.
Yeah.
Extremely smart. He needs to fight like that again.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't fight smart, then there's a chance he can lose. Now, the simple fact of the matter is, I really believe that he's been training with Usman. He's been training with these other guys, Rose Namajunas, and sorry, she's a female, but these other fighters, and he understands, like, there's all these champs in his gym, and he's been chomping at the bit right there, just right there the whole time. He's been one fight away. I think he's understanding what's at stake. I think he's really learning and talking with them, and I think he understands how their life has changed after being champion. It's one thing to be entertaining, like Chandler is. Oh, are you, like, you walked out of the fight with him? Is like, are you guys not entertained? That's not the point. That's not the point, dummy. The point is to really, it really is to become the champion and to make a ton of money. When I heard a story from Dana White, it was like last week. He said, look, most fighters say, yeah, I want this. I want a little extra cash. I want 2 VIP rooms. I want 5, 6, 8, 10 tickets. I want 2 first-class tickets to fly me. Justin turned to him and said, hey, because it was during COVID when he fought Khabib. He's like, I want my parents to be there.
Yeah, well, that was also, he also, think about it. Like, he won the title. He fought for the interim title against Tony Ferguson, and he won it, but he put it on the ground, saying that's not the real one.
Yeah,
and you got to admire him for everything. His mentality is fantastic.
Yep.
You can't say anything bad about Justin Gaethje and his mentality. Sometimes his mentality pushes him too far. I'm just going to say it because if you ask Justin, you ever been hurt in a fight? Hell no. He'll tell you that. And it's like, and you go. The first time when I repped him against Michael Johnson, and he got hurt twice.
Oh yeah,
bad.
That was a great fight, by the way.
Right? Oh my God, it was incredible. And I afterwards I said, "Hey man, beautiful fight." I said, "Way to come back from being hurt." He goes, "I was never hurt, John." I go, "You need to watch the video." That was it. He's awesome.
I think that. Like I said, I think that he is understanding what is at stake. You want your family there to fight when you fought Khabib. That's amazing. But guess what? This is the next step into providing for your family. Yeah. Not just being the champion, not just being the interim champion, not just fighting for the title. It's about winning and setting them up for life, or at least have an opportunity to help them out, whatever they need later on in life. And he's that kind of kid. Yep. And so either way, this fight's gonna be fucking a barn burner, man. Oh. I don't see how it can't be. The way Justin fights and the way Charles has been lately, the two of them, it's gonna be if can Justin keep the distance, like you said? Can he keep that range and keep him at the end of his punches? And can Charles close that distance, fight him in a phone booth in the clinch, and threaten the submissions? Can he do that? And can he get the finish? It's gonna be a fucking great fight.
Yep.
Great fight. Speaking of great fights, but let's talk about running it back. You got Rose Namajunas and Carla Esparza.
Both different fighters. From the first fight, let's just be honest, they are completely different. And people are going to go, no, Rose hasn't changed. Yes, she has. She is a completely different fighter, and it's based upon Rose she had good stand-up, and she had a quick jab, and she had a good ground game. But she didn't move her feet all that much, and she stayed basically linear and straight with her opponents. She doesn't do any of that now. She circles out. She controls the distance well, and her, putting herself in a position for someone to get the takedown is not there. It's tough to get, in on her to get her down. Obviously, Carla has improved as a fighter too. She's in that position where, look, she was mostly a wrestler. She had good wrestling, and she would use ground and pound. Her stand-up has gotten way better. She's now using her hands to set up her takedowns, which is very good, very smart, more efficient, more effective. But I'm just going to say she's going to have a hard time getting Rose Namajunas down, at least in my opinion, in this fight. Her footwork and the way that Rose manages that distance, controls when that engagement happens, she's gotten way better at it. And, she is at this point, you got to look and say, man, she's got snap on her shots. She's got a hell of a fucking left hand. Her jab is sharp. Her hook is beautiful. It put Joanna down twice. She's got power in her right hand. Most, women at 115 pounds, look, it's hard to create enough torque to hurt a full-size human being, just because you don't have that weight behind you. She can do it, and she can do it with kicks. She can do it with punches. She can do it with knees. And now her grappling defense is way better than it was before. This is going to be a tough fight for Carla, in my estimation.
So I think it's going to be a tough fight for Carla. I agree with you. And when you talked about both of them, they are extremely different than the first time they fought. Okay, and if you guys don't see that, then you guys got to go back and watch that fight. But the one way that I think that you failed to mention with Rose is that it's the confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Sure, she was a confident fighter back then, but she's just a different animal mentality-wise right now. And it's shown through her last several performances. Not just the ones where she's won, even the ones where she's lost. She came back after that and was like, you know what? Nah, I'm going to fix this. And she's now has changed, and her mentality has changed. She's a lot more confident. She believes in everything that she can do. She believes in her power in her hands, her footwork. I guess 100%. I'm agreeing with you is key. Where Carla though has changed as well is that she's moving her head a little bit more as she comes in. She's throwing her strikes off of her wrestling, not just shooting raw dog. Okay, she's not just kind of walking in trying to put the pressure. I think where she has a good chance, John, and correct me if I'm wrong. This is what I kind of see from them. Is that Rose, if Carla can make Rose use that footwork a lot more than normal and avoid the damage in doing it, that she may be able to slow Rose down by the end of second, maybe third round. She'll probably start to slow her around a little bit. And if all she needs really is to start getting some takedowns, make Rose start have to work to get back up. If she can get one or two early in the fight, say one, in the first round, maybe two in the second round, but then the takedowns will start to come a little easier and start slowing Rose down. I think she's got a chance. She's got good ground and pound. She's got good heavy pressure.
Very good ground and pound.
She's not the easiest to get up out from underneath. She's got good control. All of those things. This is a 5-round fight. And I know that Rose, before, she had a little bit of issues, like when she fought, who'd she fight? I think it was Joanna, the second fight. She started to slow down in that 4th and 5th round a little bit. But then she fixed it, though, against, she fought someone else, I think, after that. Gosh.
She did the same thing when she fought
Andrade. She fought Weili Zhang the second time, right?
When she fought Andrade the second time.
There you go.
Yeah, because she lost, obviously in I think it was the 3rd round when she got slammed. I might be wrong, it might have been the second, but I think it was the 3rd round. But when she fought Andrade the second time, she was piecing Andrade up on the feet, but she got tired in the 3rd round, and she took some damage in that 3rd round, and that's what she has to avoid.
Yeah, because if Carla can get a takedown, like I said, 1, maybe 2 in the first, 2 in the second, it'll start slowing Rose down a little bit. She'll start taking some damage. She'll start, and maybe harder for her to get up off the bottom. There's a lot of little things that really will decipher this fight, and you'll be able to tell probably by the 2nd round on where this fight is going.
Yep.
So, all right, now the fight that everyone has been obviously looking forward to, we're gonna find out. I mean, is Tony Ferguson still the same Tony Ferguson? No. But can Tony still fight? Hell yes, he can still fight. Yes. Tony has got every chance and opportunity to win this fight. Michael Chandler, still a dog, still has a lot in the gas tank. I saw some lame video he put out talking about, oh man, I'm a dinosaur in the fight game. I think he's 34. John,
35.
Dave, can you look it up? Is he 35?
I think it's 35.
36. He just
okay.
Look, he's still right in the middle of that prime.
Yeah. It's not, John.
No,
he's not. You think so? I don't think so.
I believe 28 to 38 is those are that numbers. when it's all good. Now, obviously, 28, you're still learning and stuff, but 38, it starts to tail off. But at 35, 36, you're as good as you will ever be.
Yeah. Yeah, I just how old is Tony? Tony's what, 37, 38?
I would say 38.
38?
38, yep.
Yeah, 38.
Right at the tail end.
Yeah, this is that. So, like, for the Chandler time, I think I was 36 when I beat Nate. And then when I fought Tony, I was 37.
You were
36, I think, when I fought Nate. I was 37 when I fought Tony.
Well, you lie about your age all the time. So
yeah, I do. I do lie about it all the time. I know. It's so funny because I don't even think Wikipedia had it right for a while because I lied about it so much. I think it's great. I have it on all my social media, too. I have it all wrong. Yeah. My birthday's 1969.
I'm pretty sure Wikipedia also has like a defeat that you have from Ariel Helwani.
Oh yeah, there's all. No. Here's the other thing too.
Did Ariel light you up?
No, Ariel doesn't. Ariel doesn't light anything up except for his schnoz. He's got the nose. What's that guy from the Humpty Dance? No. No. I like Ariel. He's a nice guy. Look, you just can't let the things he said get to you, and everyone. I think it's fun. I love the guy. He's a nice guy. If we were ever in the same room, I always talk to him. I always try to at least say hi so he doesn't think I'm being a bully. I always say hi. Anyways, moving on. Look, there were some questions too, because about my record there was a video going around of my first fight with Gerald Streetman. And said, how did someone not catch Josh's record was 22-1? Because I had a bunch of fights before that, you guys. And they're like, oh, that was your amateur record. No, I was making $150, $200.
I was making a lot of money.
I was making a ton of money, but I was getting paid to fight. So that's technically being pro. But all of those fights don't count if you don't have video record, because like Sherdog and other companies, MMA, was it like the Underground Forum, all those places back in the day that were the new websites, they didn't count it towards your record unless you had video footage of it. So that's why those fights got wiped off. So when the UFC started making a turn towards trying to make sure that everyone's records were legit, I couldn't prove them because at that time, I obviously was a broke college kid and had nothing to film it with. There was no flip phones back then, or there was no smartphones to just, oh, look, here it is right here. There wasn't that way. You had this big camcorder you had to go around with and two charging stations. And so anyways, I wanted to clear that up.
VHS to the side, close it up, go, baby.
Yeah, everyone's like, oh man, he's record. How did no one catch that? I'm like, well, that's how it happened. So yeah, we like back in the day, we had a ton of fights prior to all this stuff. So
oh my God.
Anyways, all right, well, let's get back into the fight. So Michael Chandler and Tony Ferguson. John, I really believe this. Tony Ferguson's got a chance of beating him if he can stay long. If he can stay long, if he can use, he's got a nasty one. Tony Ferguson has a nasty push kick. And I don't think Michael Chandler is long enough to reach him to his chin. So if Tony uses that up the middle all day long, Chandler being shorter, Tony being longer, the power of that push kick up the middle, whether it's the gut or the face, it's available there. Michael stands in a more of a sideways stance, but that means the face stays in one spot right there. It's perfect for him to come right up the middle. Chandler's arms are out wide normally. He has that wide hands out position. He reaches when he tries to block punches. All of those things are available. The knees up the middle, because Chandler dips his head sometimes when he gets into brawls. It's all there. It's all there based off Tony being long. Now, Chandler with the wrestling, he's never been submitted. He's nasty on top. If he can do that, if he can take Tony Ferguson down and put the work on him from the top, Tony's going to have a hard time. Holding Tony down is not going to be easy. Taking Tony down will be easy, but then holding him down will not be easy. Tony's not someone that really fights the takedowns a whole lot. He kind of just rolls with them. Yeah, he rolls with it. He gives positions to take a position. He'll throw submissions up just to create some sort of scramble so he can get back to his feet. The one thing in terms of this is only a 3-round fight, I believe, right?
Yep.
I can't tell. Yeah, so it's only a 3-round fight. If it's only a 3-round fight, I've said this before, outside of the Justin Gaethje fight, it's very rare do I see Michael Chandler lose a 3-round fight because he's so dominant for 2 rounds without gassing out. He's so dominant with the wrestling. He's so dominant with the boxing and the power. It's very rare do you see him lose a 3-round fight. So that being said, I mean, like, it's a good fight, but I got to be honest. I think Chandler, as long as he fights smart, which, of course, John, what do we say about Chandler?
Are you
Guy's
entertained?
incapable. He's incapable of fighting smart. When fight IQ, it just doesn't even seem to cross his mind. Yeah. Anyways, but look, I'm really looking forward to this fight. I'm looking forward to seeing how this all goes down.
It's an intriguing fight. If you look at the variables here, look, both come from a college wrestling background. People don't realize that about Tony, but Tony was a collegiate wrestler. You know, they were both close to the same level. I think that at this point, Chandler's the better wrestler. He's definitely the better guy as far as keeping the takedown from happening or making the takedown happen. So if it gets to the ground, I don't see Tony submitting Chandler, but I definitely don't see Chandler submitting Tony. That ain't going to happen. So it's a matter of, if it gets to the ground, who's the person on top? And I would think it's going to end up being Chandler. How much damage can Chandler do on Tony in that position? And he can do a lot. He can do a lot, and that will slow Tony down. But you know Tony's going to be there for the 3 rounds. I don't see this fight ending unless someone lands a big shot, which, you know, could happen. I think it's going to go the 3 rounds, and I think it's going to end up going to the judges', you know, hands, and obviously depending upon who does the best in the fight, that's going to be the winner. But Tony's got a shot at winning this fight, but he has to fight the right fight. And you're absolutely right. That teep kick up the middle, changing the levels of it, bring it down to his, you know, right at the navel level, man. Hit him in the solar plex there. Hit him to the sternum at times. Hit him up under the chin. Keep moving it up and down. Make him have to adjust to it. It's going to open up your hands a little bit. It's going to make him not want to stay in that center line that he tends to, he gravitates towards it. And he's a linear fighter. He'll do all kinds of things when he's working out, as far as, you know, movement back and forth, and, you know, he's in and out. And then when he gets in the cage, linear. He's linear most of the time and stuff. And so, you know, he's a tough dude. You know, Chandler he's a tough guy. He'll take the shots and everything, but his chin has been out there. It's susceptible, and it's more susceptible than Tony's chin, actually. Tony takes the bigger shot. Yeah. So the real question is, does Tony have the ability to hurt Chandler? In my opinion, Tony is the much better fighter in the fighting in a phone booth, being in the clinch. He's dangerous with elbows. He brings knees in. He'll do all kinds of weird things. He'll do the spinning elbow attacks and things like that. So you get into that clinch, that tends to lead towards Tony Ferguson, in my opinion. It's a great matchup. I can't wait to watch it. You know, again, look at Tony. Used to work out at my gym. I love Tony. He's a great guy. I hope to see him win. I'm not saying it's going to happen. Michael could definitely win the fight, but I don't want to see Tony going out with all these losses. It's not a good thing to see. It's breaking my heart.
Yeah, but isn't that kind of the nature of the beast, though, John?
Yeah, it is. Absolutely,
you know,
it is.
That's the thing. In combat sports, that's kind of the nature of the beast. That's how this all goes down. Like, no one wanted to see Muhammad Ali go out the way he did. No one wanted to see, you know, there's guys that like Josh Koscheck. I think he lost 5 or 6 in a row before he retired. Yeah. You know, I mean, outside of like GSP, give me BJ Penn. He lost what, 11?
Oh my
10?
God.
Yeah, something like that. You know, BJ's my boy, but I mean, that doesn't take away all the great things that they did.
No.
When they were in their prime. No. You know, later on in life, you know, they're not the same fighters. You know, but I mean, he had, you know, so it's like, but let me tell you guys a quick story about Tony Ferguson when I fought him. That push kick up the middle, because Chandler kind of does a little bit of the same thing. We block with just like our forearm. Yeah, we sweep it by. Yeah, so he sweeps it, and I was sweeping the same thing. Well, let me just tell you, by like the end of the first round, there was no more sweep. I was just taking it. Because my fucking forearm was swollen so bad that like it was like I couldn't touch anything. Like anytime we were grappling, it swelled up so bad. And I was like, I had never had that before in my life. I had blocked so many kicks. I was like, this is no big deal. For 2 weeks, I couldn't put my you know how you put your forearms down at the dinner table, like on the edge? Yep. That wasn't happening. Okay. Sleeping. Yeah, sleeping. I had to sleep with it elevated because if I rolled over on it at all, it was painful. I thought maybe I had a fracture, but when I went and got an X-ray, there was no fracture. But it was painful, man. And so it swelled up. I mean, it looked like I had fucking 2 softballs along my forearm from my elbow to my wrist. It was just swollen. It was like almost like a half of a football was hanging from my forearm. It was nasty. Purple, green, all those colors. So that push kick up the middle, I think, is going to be key. And then Tony with the long jab, you know. He's going to have a harder time with the jab only based on the fact that Chandler's so short. The Chandler moves his head and ducks in when he comes up. So that push kick, I think, John, is going to be real key, like you and I were just talking about.
Yep.
So I'm really pumped for this fight. Both of them have a lot to prove.
Yep.
Tony has something to prove, showing that he still belongs there. Chandler needs to pull something out of his ass and start. He needs to win, man. And that's the thing. Here's the thing. He could have won certain fight. He could have beat Charles Oliveira had he fought a little smarter. I don't know if he could have beaten. If he would have wrestled, I think, a little bit more against Justin Gaethje, I think he could have beat him. But and the thing is, when you're talking about the top guys, every fighter can beat each other on any given night.
That's right.
We know that. But Chandler has, like I said, he is incapable of fighting smart. So I don't even know how to talk about him anymore because I'm like, he's so talented with his wrestling. He possesses power, as we've seen several times. He's got good
fast,
footwork.
He's explosive.
He's fast. He's explosive. He's all these things. But when the lights turn on, it's like the fucking light bulb in his head just shuts off and just becomes like tunnel vision. Anyways, all right, let's get into the next fight. Mauricio Shogun Hua versus Ovis St. Preux. This is at light heavyweight. Ovis going back down from heavyweight to the light heavyweight division. Is this really come down to like loser walks? Is that where we're at?
Yeah.
I mean,
who knows?
With Ovitz, he's a little bit younger. I think he's 39, though, 38, 39. Whereas Shogun is 41, 42. Yeah, see, Ovitz, St. Preux, OSP is 39. And Shogun, I think, is 40. He's 40. Okay, I thought he was 41. Yeah. All right. I mean, Shogun's chin, just not the same. This is one of those fights you could potentially see it being kind of a boring fight. OSP doesn't come forward a lot. He doesn't throw a lot. He's not a lot of output.
No, he looks
Shogun
to counter.
He's fighting a little bit more cautiously lately. Like he understands that his chin isn't what it used to be. It could end up being a boring fight.
Could be. Yeah, I look at it and I have nothing but respect for both guys. And
yep.
I mean, if people go back and look at Shogun when he was younger, look at his days in Pride. He was a monster. I mean, he was all over the place. He was attacking people with all kinds of crazy things. He had some bad things happen to him too. You know, he posted on a Mark Coleman takedown, and his elbow dislocated, if you remember, and he had those situations. But other than that, he was just beating everybody for the most part, man. And came into the UFC. He lost to Forrest Griffin in his first fight. He ended up being the champion, but he is never quite the same fighter that you saw that, was the guy in Pride. And now, look, he's a shell of himself. I'm just going to, I love him. The Dan Henderson fights have taken things out of him in both of them. And he had Dan hurt in the second. We had him hurt in the first one too, but had him hurt in the second one badly and then ended up, losing that one and stuff. Just looking at all the damage has added up. I don't think that Ovince has had quite the same amount of damage, and it's really the one reason that I'll lean towards, OSP. He's a good athlete. He's physically very strong. He's still got some speed. He just doesn't attack enough, and there's the output from OSP has really tailed off, and that's the difference in his fights. When you're not putting those shots on your opponent, they're putting ones on you, and that's what we're seeing. He's waiting for the counters, and then he's waiting past the counters. It doesn't happen. So I agree with you. It could end up being, a knockout by one of them, or it could be a really kind of slow and boring fight. But it gets to this point in someone's career. I never want to see him get hurt, and I don't want to see Shogun get hurt. I don't want to see OSP get hurt. It's the nature of the beast, though, man. Eventually, your time comes, and both of them are right at the end of that line.
Yeah, let me go back to when you started the conversation. Was about him in Pride. He probably I would say he was my favorite fighter back then.
Yeah.
He was one of the guys that I used to watch him chase people around, just stomping after their heads.
Do you remember his fight against Rampage? He hit Rampage with a fucking knee to the body, broke Rampage's ribs, and just put a whooping on Quinn. I mean, no one had done that to Quinn.
Yeah.
And it was nasty. And then I remember I was watching him going, holy shit, he's doing this to Quentin Jackson. You know, some people didn't know who Quentin was at the time. Everyone knew that Quentin could take damage.
Yeah.
He was just getting killed in that fight, man. I felt so bad for Quentin when I was watching, but the dude was a stud.
I feel like he was one of the first fighters. Maybe it was his brother, but I think it was him that created that where they grabbed the ankles and they would split the legs and stomp the head through the guard.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
shoot the box trademark.
Oh, it was nasty. And I was just like, this is how I always wanted to fight. Like when I first came onto the scene, I was thinking to myself, this is what I want to do. This guy was insane. Like him and his brother were just so fun to watch. Ninja and then Shogun, the two of them. And then you had Vanderlei and you had Anderson. You had all these guys. There's just so many good guys. Vochenchin was there. I mean, like Vochenchin was,
Igor Vochenchin was awesome.
Yeah. He was just a stud
Ukrainian
as well. I mean,
tank.
short little chubby guy, but he had big. He was like a Fedor, a small version of Fedor. Big
Smaller,
punches, big, like a little just ball, little roll around his belly and stuff. But, just an outstanding fighter at the time. And then OSP, I remember from Strikeforce, came onto the scene. Everyone was like, "Oh, yeah, he played football. I think at University of Tennessee." Yeah, he was at Tennessee. Super nice guy. Both of them, I agree with you. OSP is probably a little bit faster, not by much though, but the output's going to go probably to Hua because Hua doesn't know any other way other than just to kind of come forward and fight. It just really, can his chin take it? I don't know. OSP, his chin's not bad. It's not great anymore, but it's not bad. It's better than Shogun's.
I agree.
This is one of those fights, John, where you look back and you're like, man, both of you guys were so good when you guys were younger, but now the time is just come. And so I just wondered, that's why I started this whole conversation with, does the loser walk, and does the winner get one more in and until you lose, you go until you lose. I mean, it's funny how we think like that, right? Why do you fight till we lose?
It's sad because you don't want to see that, but again, this is the sport. And unless you're that guy that decides, okay, you know what, I'm done. And you're in that position of one of two things. You just love it. And you still want to be that guy that's walking out into that arena. Or you need the money. And I'm not saying
that's even worse.
It's way worse. Way worse. But it's, we see it all the time.
Yep. All right, so Donald Cerrone versus Joe Lauzon.
You take a look at this, and it's a well matched fight. Obviously, Lauzon has he's slowed down too. Donald is slowed down, but Donald's offensive output in the stand up is going to be a lot for Joe to deal with. And on the ground, they match up well. They really do. Joe Lauzon is slick, but so's Donald. Donald's ground game is good. Now, if Joe gets in the top position, I'm not sure that Donald can pull off a submission, and I'm not sure that Donald can get himself up to his feet. It's going to be tough. Joe's very good at controlling the position on the ground, moving well, keeping you from being able to catch that area where you can get back to your feet. But, this is a fight where the real difference I see is in the stand-up. I think that Cerrone is just a cleaner. He kicks way harder. He's got better tools in the stand-up that Joe Lauzon's going to have to work past. Once it gets to the ground, it's anyone's fight. Top position guy is going to end up doing well. I don't see either guy catching the other in a submission. Could happen, but I don't see it. I really think it comes down to how much Joe works.
John, you knocked yourself out, I think.
Your audio.
Yeah, just there you go.
How's that?
There you go. Back.
The fuck is that?
Good as new, man. Good
as new. All right, I'm back. I just look and say the stand-up is going to be rough on Joe, and he's got to get the fight to the ground. Either way, be it on top or on the bottom.
Yeah, so I would agree. I would agree with you as well. My only concern right now with Donald Cerrone is this fight is at lightweight, and that weight cut back down, getting the shape back down.
Good point.
Like losing, So him being at 70 for so long, we're kind of fluctuating in that range.
He went back and forth.
Yeah, but now permanently. Did he fight? His last fight at lightweight was against Connor, correct?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think that was his last fight. So Nico Price, Morano,
No,
Pettis was it? Was that lightweight?
And the Pettis might have been at lightweight.
It might have been. I don't think it was. I think the two of them fought it at
Welterweight.
Welterweight, yeah.
It was a welterweight.
Remember
okay.
Pettis was going up too. Remember Pettis
he did.
fought
Yeah.
Stephen Thompson. They were like, yeah, why am I going to keep cutting all this weight? Yeah. And so, no, let me see. Yeah, Connor.
The
Yeah, I
Nico
think
Price
Connor
was
his last.
also welterweight as well. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nico's not making lightweight. So it's one of those. Go back to the it's one of those cards though. It's one of those fights. Sorry, it's one of those fights where can he get the fight to the ground? Joe Lauzon with the better wrestling, I think, but then the size is going to go to Cowboy. The height, the reach, the kicks, all those things. The power, I think, on the hands is going to also go to Cowboy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say the only reason why I wouldn't say whoever's on top can win the grappling, only because Donald's pretty good off of his back.
Yes, but he's not going to catch Joe. He's not going to catch him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you, but there'll be some threats and some submissions there. I mean, and these, they've both slowed down. So it's kind of like.
But they're both. If there's one thing about the ground, and you know this, as long as you are using your brain and understanding what's occurring, the speed can only be so much. The takedown can be the thing that the speed helps with. But once it hits the ground, it slows down. You don't have to worry about the speed so much. And it's the transitions are the thing that, make up that speed. And both guys are good in their transitions. And they're both good at understanding what's happening. I just don't think that
neither one of them is older than the other. Neither one is too much younger than the other. You know what I mean? So then, like, the speed in that the speed of the transitions, the strength of it all is not as relevant, because if it was like, say, Donald Cerrone fighting like a young up and comer, or Joe Lauzon fighting the young up and comer, they'd have a more difficult time with the speed and the transitions of the submissions. No different than that kid that won last week. Who's the kid that hit the knee bar last week? Young kid.
Oh,
It's Clay
Figueredo.
Guida.
That one was Fajea.
Fajea, yeah. That kid was nasty. All right. You know what?
Was it
Let's see.
Friday?
Is there another fight on here you want to talk about?
I was wondering when we pulled up that thing on, and Dave took it away. Go back to that
Which
list
one?
with Donald Cerrone.
His fight record?
Yeah,
Okay.
because I'm thinking that his fight with Justin Gaethje was his last lightweight. Was the Conor McGregor? I thought that was
Yeah,
at
it was
170.
No, it was at lightweight.
You sure?
Oh, it was welterweight. Oh, you were
Welterweight, there you
right.
go.
Man, I thought it was at 55.
So it's been a while. You're right about that 55.
Yeah.
It's been a while. But that's plenty of time for him to, it's all about his diet and what he's doing. But, Budweiser does not help in making 155.
It's liquid carbs, buddy. Liquid
carbs.
He'll be fine.
That's the problem.
He'll be fine.
Uh,
All right. Well, is there any other fights on this card you want to talk about?
there's some other.
We still have two other cards to talk about.
Well, we do. Randy Brown is going to be fun to watch. I really enjoy him. That dude is tall. You talk about your tall, long, and lanky. He is a problem. And I actually
Williams got some power, man.
Danny Roberts against Trinaldo. That's a good fight. That's going to be Trinaldo. I'm not sure that Trinaldo, man, he's a stud and he's getting older. And I don't know if he can handle Danny Roberts throughout that whole thing, but the speed of him, but he seems to do it every time. So that'll be an interesting fight at welterweight.
This clip that we're about to play for you guys goes on our Wayne and Extras channel. It's from our Wayne and Interjection show. We go 5 rounds with each other where I beat up John, and John sometimes tries to beat me up, but it's a fun little show that we do. It's a short clip. So go to our Wayne and Extras channel with the link down below. Click that, and that'll take you there. Hit the like and subscribe button. Thanks for watching.
We have UFC 274 coming out this weekend, and 2 guys on that card are Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje. So we're going to play a little facing off right now.
But they're not
Big
fighting
John.
each other.
They are not, but they will talk to each other at the press conference, I'm sure. And so we are
okay.
going to... we're going to enact that press conference a little right now with Big John being Michael Chandler and Josh Thompson being Justin Gaethje.
Are you sure you don't want Josh Thompson to be Michael Chandler?
I think I'm sure. I
Okay.
want you guys to go at each other and not Josh to go at himself. All right. So, Josh, one big rule here.
Don't move your head, Josh.
Don't be swinging that big head around, okay?
Okay.
Don't be swinging that big head around. And we're going to take us away. So I'm going to pose a media question to you guys. Big John is Chandler. Josh is Justin.
All right.
What advice, Michael Chandler, do you have for Justin Gaethje going into his fight against Charles Oliveira?
Oh, that's real simple. My advice to Justin Gaethje is don't get hit with a left hook. Keep your hands up. Look, you can do well with this guy in the stand-up. I went against you. You are a stud when it comes to your power. You got those kicks, but you need to control the range here. Keep your hands up. That beautiful uppercut to the left hook will be there for you when you see it, but don't get in that position where all of a sudden you do what I do, and that's put my hands down and get hit by the left hook, because the guy still can start you. He's got power in his hands. Be careful of the left hook.
Why would I take any advice from a loser? A guy that I smacked around for 3 rounds,
man,
bitch slapped you, pushed you around,
now.
stuffed your
Bitch
takedowns. I beat the shit out of you. Why would I take any advice from you? All I've ever heard about is how you got power and you got this. Guess what? You have no fight IQ, and you've proved it. You're the dumbest fucking fighter that's ever stepped foot in the cage when it comes to intelligence.
Now
sure,
we're getting
maybe you
personal.
have
All right.
skill.
We're gonna have to
Maybe
talk about
you
dumb.
have some skill. Hey, anytime you want to run it back, I'll bitch slap your ass around again. Let's go. Sign it up. Let's go, buddy. Bring that shit to me, Big Papi. I got you.
Big Papi,
Just
next time I'm picking you up, dropping you on your head,
You
and
ain't
showing your
doing
white
shit.
belt level on the ground.
You got no wrestling. Kayla getting the fight with
Kayla getting the payday.
Marina.
God bless her.
Against Marina, getting that payday, collect that money. Yeah,
Gotta love it, man. Come on.
She is making a ton of money.
Good
I
for
feel
her.
like
Good for her. Hey,
I wonder if she's going to be adopting any children soon. I could change my.
Kayla.
I could lie about my age.
That's
I'm
it.
6. I'm
You've
4.
done it your
Whatever.
You've done it your whole
Yeah.
life.
Yeah. I mean, I identify as a 4-year-old. We're good. Let's go. Oh, man. All right. So, against, how do you say her last name? Mokhanatina. Mokhanatina. Okay. She's fought in Bellator a couple times. I think she has 2 wins. She's fought at 35. 45?
She fought at 45.
45.
So this is 55.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, oh my God.
I think isn't she undefeated? Is she undefeated? No, she's 6-2.
No,
She's
she's
got
not.
2
No,
losses.
no,
Who
no.
did she lose to? Mokhanatina. Who did she lose to? Have we ever heard of him?
My God. Janae Harding was one, I know.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, that's not good. Yeah.
She beat Amanda Bell and she beat Zamora.
Yeah.
Dun, dun, dun. All right. Well, I mean,
No.
I don't think she has a chance.
No, not at all.
Kayla Harrison is going to grab a hold of her. Now, look, they're both judo practitioners or judokas, but let's just say there's
more
levels to the
sambo,
game.
more sambo.
Yeah, one's
Marina.
levels to the game.
Hello. I mean, there's no comparison to the level of what Kayla has done and what Marina's done. This is not a good matchup because on the feet, Kayla's the better fighter. I'm just being honest.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying.
No, you're. But
that's
Kayla's the better fighter, and on the ground, Kayla's the better fighter. Now, it's not that if she, makes a mistake, she can't get caught, but I don't see her making anywhere close to the mistake. She's just, this is not a challenging fight for her. It's not a challenging fight. And it goes back to, there's one person in the PFL right now that can challenge Kayla Harrison. That's Julia Budd. Now, Julia's got the physical abilities to stay with Kayla. Everything is up here for Julia. Her belief.
Mm-hmm.
We talk about confidence all the time, and Julia's that one person who's like, man, if I could bestow confidence in someone, I would try to bestow it upon her because look, she can really fight when she lets it go, but she holds back all the time. because she's worried about losing and things. Don't.
Yeah. I look at Julia Budd. I've said this since the moment we joined with Bellator and she was the champ there. I said when her and the Chris Cyborg fight was put together, I said Julia Budd is technically the better striker. But when you watch that fight, you would never have thought that.
No, never know it.
She didn't believe in it. She didn't believe in throwing it. She just wasn't there. She was not the same fighter that we all thought, like we all know she could be. Yeah. It's just a matter of she needs to let it go. She needs to believe in herself. She needs to believe that, that I can take that shot. She can take a shot. I don't know what the feeling is with her and why. But I think Julia Budd gives Kayla Harrison a good go. Can she stay on her feet? That's going to be the question.
That is the question.
And when she hits the ground, can she survive there to drag it into deeper waters? Because Julia Budd
will
will still be there. And yeah, she's good.
She's good on the ground.
But is she good enough to survive for 4 and 5 rounds? That's where you're at.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
all right, Ray Cooper going against Carlos Leal.
Favorite.
Oh, so you're just going
my
to go
favorite, man.
right away with
favorite.
Ray Brada Cooper the third.
Ray Brada Cooper.
Yeah, he's a stud. That guy's got bombs in his head. He just reminds me of Robbie Lawler. He really does.
Yeah.
Always has.
He does. Yeah, I mean, he reminds me of his dad too, which makes sense.
Yeah. Well, now he's got a better ground game than his dad.
Yeah, he's got better wrestling. He's got better wrestling, got better ground game. Yeah. He's a good wrestler, man. I was surprised on how good of a wrestler he is. He's got good takedowns. He's explosive. Yeah. He looks explosive. He possesses power in his hands. I don't. There's not a lot of guys that are going to beat him in the PFL. Unless they're doing some new signings. The only guy is the Russian guy that he fought in the finals last year, and he was losing that fight up until that moment where he knocked him out.
Yeah.
So that was but the two of them seem to go back and forth. So, look, if you guys want to just sign me up for that fight and we can just go right to the finals and I'll watch that 2 or 3 times a year, I'm down with that. So, the fight that I've kind of been looking forward to, though, is this Miles Price and Anthony Pettis fight, because Miles Price is a good fighter.
Yeah, he is.
He's fought in the UFC. He's fought in Bellator. He's fought a bunch of. He's a good fighter.
He is.
He's not a bad fight. He's good on the ground. I've trained with him. He trained at AKA for a while. His stand-up, he doesn't have a lot of power, but he's got good stand-up. He's got a good little butterfly kind of like bottom game. He's good he's long. He's pretty tall for the weight. He's a long and lanky fighter. I don't know if he possesses enough tools though to get past Anthony in terms of on the feet. On the ground, I think he's got a good chance with Anthony. He's got to stay out of Anthony's guard. Anthony's guard is pretty good. His armbar triangle game is phenomenal. I've grappled with Anthony. I remember training with him a long time ago. It doesn't look like much has changed.
But once you pass that guard into half guard, everything stops.
He's a different fighter. He's a different grappler. Once you get past into that half guard or into side control or north-south, whatever it is, or even if you're fighting him from an open guard position where your hands are on the shins and controlling that position, he's a different fighter. His grappling is not the same. Yeah. So Miles he's got his work cut out for him in terms of on the feet, and I think even in the wrestling, I don't think he has the wrestling to take Anthony down. So he's gonna have to find a way to catch a kick. He's gonna have to find a way to get in on a body lock for a lift, something like that, to get to the takedown. So, but that makes to me this makes for a fun fight.
I agree with you. Miles Price. He's that guy that he's not exciting anywhere though. I'm just he's solid.
Yeah.
He beat Peter Queally in Bellator. That was a good win for him, but it was that he just held position. He controlled things. Wherever the fight was, he was into the more of the controlling than into the damage, and he can't be into that position with Pettis. He's got to damage Pettis. He's got to slow Pettis down. Pettis is a tough guy. He doesn't quit. He's, he'll take shots, but you've got to make him respect you. You've got to make him respect you, because if he doesn't respect what is coming his way, he's going to start to walk through you with all kinds of stuff. So it's a tough fight for Price. I'm being honest. Not that he can't win it. It's just that it's a tough fight for him.
What was all the drama with him? Remember when he fought Peter Queally? I think they fought in Ireland.
Yeah.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
And then what was the drama with him? Didn't he train at SBG or something like that? Or
yeah, well, he went. Miles Price was at AKA, like you said, and who was Miles Price helping for his fight with Conor? Khabib.
Oh, Khabib.
And that was where the whole thing started.
Ah,
he's like, "You're a fucking traitor."
Interesting.
So, it is what it is.
All right. Brett Cooper versus Rory McDonald.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what. I love Brett Cooper. He's a tough dude going up in weight, down in weight. Just being honest, I just don't see a way for Brett Cooper winning this fight. Look at Rory, even Rory 2.0 is not the Rory of the past as far as Rory doesn't want to get into the gunfight. He wants to, be technical and stuff, and that's smart of him. He's taken too much as far as getting into those battles. Brett Cooper's a dog. I love the guy. Tough everywhere, just not as fast as Rory. On the ground, Rory's better. He's just, Brett's probably, if you're going to say wrestling, probably the better wrestler, but he's going to have a hard time using his wrestling to get Rory down. And in the stand-up, he's just going to get pieced up. Rory's a much more technical fighter as far as the stand-up. I don't see how Brett gets a win here. I'm just being honest, and I love Brett.
Yeah, Rory is just one of those. He's very technically sound.
Yep.
He's been fighting a little bit smarter in terms of not getting into dog fights, but I agree with you. He's more of the technical fighter. The Jenna Fabian and the Julia Budd, since we
yeah, you go right to that.
I don't know much about Joao Zeffirino. I don't know much about him, so if you want to touch on that one,
Joao Zeffirino is good. He's just not good enough to beat Magomed Karamov. Magomed Karamov's a stud. Yep. He lost to Ray Bradakupa in the championship. How many losses does he have? That was
it's 9. And
no,
Magomed
that's Zeffirino. No, Magomed's got 6.
6. Okay, so that was his 6th loss. But that dude's good. And
he is good.
When it comes to being on the ground, he's really good. His wrestling is outstanding. He just got hit by a shot. And
he
chooses
on the
to
ground. Stand though, John. He doesn't utilize his wrestling enough.
But he's a better stand-up fighter than Zeffirino.
Yeah.
So
he'll be able to walk Zeffirino around.
I believe he will. But let's go to Julia Budd versus Jenna Fabian. What do you think? It's not even close.
I honestly think it's going to be a close match.
Really?
I think it's going to be a close match. I think on the feet they're going to get after each other. Look, it all comes down to Julia Budd. Does she believe at 155? Because that's what she's fighting at.
Yeah.
At 155,
which doesn't hurt her at all. Physically, she's a stud.
I agree, but then Jenna Fabian is a big girl. She's tall, she's long, she's all of those things that I talk about you need for an MMA fighter. She lacks on the ground. Will Julia Budd take her down?
Okay, hold on. Julia can match her in the stand-up. I think that's the way for Jenna Fabian to win. Yes. But on the ground, it ain't fucking close.
It ain't close. But will Julia take her down?
If she's got any kind of brain at all and she's got Lance in her goddamn corner telling her, take her down, yes, she'll take her down. She's going to work towards the clinch. And once she works towards the clinch, Jenna Fabian's going to be defending the whole time. Her offense is going to stop, and she's going to be working towards trying to keep herself on her feet, and eventually it's not going to happen. Julia's going to get her down, and Julia's going to beat her up on the ground.
All right, well, there you go. You answered it for us. If she takes her down, I was talking like it will be close if it's on the feet.
On the feet, I agree with you. I mean, Julia's good on the feet, but I like the aggression and what I see out of Jenna Fabian as far as her stand-up. She's more aggressive than Julia. And so if Julia was crazy enough to say, I'm going to make this a stand-up fight, Jenna Fabian's got a good chance of winning it.
Yeah. I like to see that. I like to see them both just stand and bang. All right, let's move on to the Bellator talk as well.
All right.
So Bellator is in France this weekend. We will be there in Paris. Ryan Bader versus Czech Kongo, which is a run. It's basically a
run it
redo.
back.
It's a run it back redo. This is what escalated the whole fuck you, John McCarthy, fuck you, Josh Thompson from Czech Kongo. He was extremely upset with us.
Very upset with us. We are such bad human beings.
It's all right though. It's okay.
What happened in that first fight then? You tell me.
He got poked in the nose and said he got poked in the eye. That's what happened in the first fight, John. I like Czech Kongo. I like him as a fighter actually as well. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to call it like it is. He got poked in the nose. He didn't get poked in the eye. And
do you think maybe he got hit in the eye and thought he got poked?
No, John, it was on the ground. And we
I
saw
know
the
that,
replay.
but
the replay
Bader's
the
throwing
replay was
shots.
this. The replay was like a
I
thumb
know,
up the nose,
I know his
believe.
thumb went up his nose,
Yeah,
which
but
is
yet, but then he
totally
grabbed the eye.
illegal, and Ryan Bader should be, chastised for such actions. But
There was no, see, it
that,
wasn't
that's
in the
not
eye.
it. Well, it was his left eye that he was complaining about.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, that's
So
the other
it's-
thing as well. It was
it's
the
on
other eye.
side.
Yeah. So look, I like him as a fighter. He obviously is mad at us for whatever.
Come on,
reasons,
let's
'cause
hold on.
we
You
said
got to give him
something.
credit. Take a look at his last fight. That Caratana fight was
Yeah.
fantastic. And man, we talk all the time, Josh, about, man, don't leave it in the cage, man. Don't have extra. This guy put everything he had into that fight. He was dead at the end of that fight. As far as he got the tap with 3 seconds left in the round
Mhm.
against Karatanov. He couldn't get up. I mean,
Yeah.
physically could not get up. So I'm kind of
That's
watching
Brian Bader.
the
His
Bader
last
fight
fight
here.
with
Yeah.
Didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then he grabs
see,
the other eye.
I don't know. I was
That's up the nose.
but the right hand,
you're gonna see
Yeah.
it.
see that right there, you can't see
Yeah,
where
that-
it hits. See, and that's
Yeah.
when
Nose?
that's when the nose.
That's up
things
the
go.
nose right there.
Yeah, but you can't see where the right hand hits.
Yeah.
See,
All right,
that's
whatever. But
I-
still, he's still.
I'm thinking that
still got
he
hit with a
got
punch.
punched, but felt like he got poked because it happens if a knuckle goes in your eye socket, you feel like you got
Yeah.
poked. And so,
All
it's
right.
unfortunate, but
I don't want to.
it is
I don't
what
want
it
to waste
is.
too much more time on
Okay.
scrutinizing him for that. Look, he's a
I'm
good
not-
fighter. Even at 44 years old, he's a good fighter.
46.
He's mad at us, and
Isn't he 46?
46K, and I think later on he'll get over it.
Yeah, he's 46.
I like him.
Coming on 47, actually.
Fuck, coming up on 47.
In a
Jeez.
few days.
Yeah.
The guy is
This is
dude,
one of those things. John,
physically,
I don't-
he's remarkable.
I think you're going to see the same. It's going to be the same result. I think he's going to end up getting taken down. We saw in the Caratana fight, the gas tank isn't what it needs to be to go 5 rounds. Ryan Bader is going to wrestle. Ryan Bader's going to wrestle fuck him.
Yes.
He
He's
is
gonna
going
try.
to just grind on him and wrestle fuck him. And when he does, Czech's going to have a hard time, especially every takedown that Ryan Bader gets is just going to be depleting it. That power level, like in a video game, is just going to be going doop, doop, doop. And then it gets to like the red level
It
where
starts
he's
dropping
in
faster.
danger. Yeah, it's just going to start dropping faster with every shot, every takedown, everything. So,
But he could touch Bader's chin. Look, he's got power in his hands. The guy can
yeah,
hit,
he can.
and he could touch
Yeah.
Bader's chin, and he can
He's
end
not
the fight
fast enough,
real quick.
John. He's not fast
That's
enough.
he's 46 years old, dude.
Yeah, no, I get you, man. I get
Remarkable
ya.
that he's still fighting the way he is and looking the way he is at that age.
Even at 46, he's probably still faster than me. Even at 46. Look at his fucking body, John. Look
I
how
know.
genetically blessed and gifted he
I
is.
know.
There's just no way.
You got to
Yeah,
hate
he's
him
probably
for that.
faster than me. For sure, he can probably run a fucking better than an 8-minute mile. For sure.
That's it. No
Yo,
doubt
well-
he's running faster. At 240 pounds, he's running faster than an 8-minute mile.
For sure. No fucking
love
doubt. Yoel Rivera versus Alex Polizzi. This is a big step up for Alex Polizzi. But
Oh.
Yoel just doesn't look the same. He's slowed down obviously a lot. He got out wrestled by Phil Davis.
Yes,
Phil
he did.
Davis was putting him on his
He's
back.
not going to get out wrestled by Alex Polizzi.
I'm John, I'm going to throw a wrench. I'm going to disagree a little bit.
Okay.
I think Alex Polizzi, if he wrestles him for the first round, if he wrestles Yoel Romero for the whole first round, Yoel's going to get tired and he'll be able to get a takedown or two and he'll be on top and Yoel will not be the same guy once he's on bottom.
Wow, you're
will
picking
slow
Alex
down
Polizzi to
so
win this
much.
fight, huh?
I'm picking him to win this
I
fight.
like that.
And I love Yo. I actually love Yoel Romero. I'm a big fan. I think that Alex Polizzi is going to win this fight.
I will say this. I do think that Alex Polizzi is the exact type of opponent you need to push Yoel Romero out of his comfort zone and make him fight. Make him get into that scrap. Make him use all of that. Now, it could be that it does exactly what you say. It pushes him to the point where he's not physically able to continue on, and he ends up, slowing down, and Polizzi can get the win. But it is the style of Alex Polizzi to push that pace. And Most guys don't want to push against Romero based upon the genetic freak that he is, how physically strong he is, the power that he has, the wrestling that he has to back it up. But he normally doesn't wrestle that much. He wants to keep it on the feet, and he wants to control the pace. So I really look at this stylistically, the matchup. It's a great fight. This is going to be a fun one. I think that Alex is going to make Yoel have to come out of that comfort zone. I think he's going to make him have to fight at a pace that he's not real comfortable with, and I think someone's going to sleep.
Alex has got to be careful he doesn't fall into like, oh shit, that's Yoel Romero.
Yeah. Which
he's got to be careful of not falling.
Yeah,
into
but
that.
that's not easy. It's an easy thing to do.
It is.
You look at that guy, all of a sudden stand and go, holy shit, I've watched him fight how many times? Holy shit, I watched him do this. Holy shit, he knocked out this guy. Holy shit, that's can go through your head.
Holy shit, I kicked him and his body feels like steel. Holy shit.
Yeah, thank you very much. As soon as you kick him, you go, oh my God, Luke Rockhold was right.
Oh, yeah, right? I mean, Whitaker said the same thing. He's like, man, he's like, wow,
he's made out of something different.
It's just.
Dude, every time, come on. Look, first off, I'll put it out. I love Yoel Romero. He's a phenomenal guy. Just great person. But man, you fucking, give him a hug, right? And he comes in and squeezes, and you go, there's certain guys. Dan Henderson was the same thing. Made out of fucking wood.
You shake Dan's hand, it's like it doesn't even feel like a hand. It feels like something else.
Yeah, it's just fucking made out of wood.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say steel, but made out of wood.
That's kind of how Dan Henderson's hands feel.
And petrified wood.
Yes, exactly. It's like you're afraid to pull out too fast because you're going to get slivers.
Oh, yeah.
It's like.
Yeah, it's rough.
Oh, man. Fuck. All right,
great.
Next fight, Davy Gallon versus Benjamin Brander.
Oh, my God. I love Davy Gallon. He has come into Bellator. He's the guy that did the Rolling Thunder knockout of Ross Pearson, if you remember.
Mm-hmm.
He had that big win, and then he's had a couple of good wins since. He beat Kane Musa in his last fight. He had that huge. Kane Musa had that huge
cut over the looked like Marvin Eastman.
He did. Very similar. Very similar. So Davy Gallon's he's on a roll. Now Benjamin's a good fighter, but he tends to have to control the pace of the fight, which is going to be tough with Gallon. And he wants to be the guy that is in the top position if he's on the ground, and I'm not sure that that's going to happen. He's never been under the lights in the way that he's going to be here, and I'm wondering how much effect, because this is his first, not his first fight in Bellator, but his first big, main card.
Big stage.
Yeah, so it's going to be a tough one for him.
Lorenz Larkin at middleweight, back up to middleweight. People kept hitting me up going, hey, where's Lorenz Larkin? I don't know, when's he fighting for, when's he going to be fighting like Korshkov or something like that? I'm like, he's going up to middleweight, man. I think he's done with the weight cut.
Yeah. I don't blame him. It's rough.
Kyle Stewart against Kyle Stewart.
Yeah. How do you see that?
Mike Shipman. Go ahead. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how to see it because Lorenz Larkin's going up to middleweight. Is he going to be the same fighter?
Well,
I know he'll be.
Yeah, he was at middleweight in his last fight. He fought Cavallo, who was the ex-champion. And he didn't look great. He had moments. But again,
John, he resorted to takedowns to get the win.
I know. Okay, that's what I was going to say.
And that's
he had
my
moments,
point.
but he got tired.
Yeah.
Carrying the extra weight, got tired.
That's my point. And my point is, like, middleweight, he'll always be the faster fighter, I believe, because he's so damn fast. He'll be the faster fighter. But can you carry that on for the full 3 rounds at a pace you're going to need to when someone's trying to take you down or someone's trying to press you and push you around? He's not a big guy. He's not a tall guy.
No.
So for him to be pushed around at middleweight, it's pretty easy.
Yeah, but
so
the
that
first
means
time
you're gonna have to have more of an output.
First time I watched Lorenz fight, he was a fucking heavyweight. Then he was a light heavyweight. And he stayed at light heavyweight for a while.
Until
then he went to middleweight. Him. Yep, that was exactly it. Well,
then he's like, these guys are too big.
Look, the guy he's fighting in Kyle Stewart, Kyle's good everywhere. Kyle comes out of the MMA lab with John Crouch. Rob Emerson is the striking coach. Benson Henderson always being there. He's a good fighter. He's a solid fighter. But he's had times that you've looked and you go, what are you doing? It's like he allows the fight to just pass him by at times. And that's what he cannot do in this because look, Lorenz is going to be the faster guy, and he needs to really figure out a way to dissipate that speed. He's got to get into the clinch situations with Lorenz, get into a position where Lorenz can't hurt him being on the outside. Lorenz has got that beautiful oblique kick that he throws, and he does it different than everyone else. You know, he throws it with a lot of speed and a lot of power coming straight ahead. That shot's going to be on him. It's going to be into his thigh. It's going to be into his solar plexus. He's got to be careful of that. But if he can slow Lorenz down, get into the clinch, make Lorenz's arms get heavy, Kyle Stewart has a chance of dragging this onto the ground. And once you drag it onto the ground, you have the ability to control Lorenz. I'm not saying he's going to submit him, but he has the ability to just let the rounds build up. And that's what I see that he needs to do.
So I'm going to skip over. Look, Pedro Carvalho he's coming in off of a good win over Dale Weichel. Tip my hat to him. He's got his hands full. I don't even know how to say that guy's name, Piotr. That's how you say Piotr, by the way, not
that is Piotr.
P-E-T-R. That's how you say Piotr. That's how you
spell Piotr.
Right, that's how you spell Piotr.
Yeah.
Okay. Lewis Long, good wrestler, good striker, but he's
good ground game.
more of a ground game kind of guy. He's good as well. But the fight that I really want to get into is the one that I like the most. Is Soren Bach versus Charlie Leary.
No.
Which what other fight you want? I like Diatta. I love Diatta.
Fabakari
Diatta
against Jordan Barton is a great fight. Great
Barton
fight.
Good enough? Is he good enough?
Who?
Barton.
Hell yes.
Do you
Did
think
you not see his fight with fucking Kieran?
Yeah, I did. I think Diatta, the speed, the dancing, all that stuff is going to be plenty.
You think that's enough for? Diatta is fun to watch. You talk about a tough bitch.
Yeah. No,
that kid is tough as hell. I think that's a great fight. Barton, I think, actually has the technical skills to beat Diatta. Mm-hmm. Does he have the tenacity and the grit to be in there against Diatta with Diatta's picking him up? Because look at Diatta, for a guy that doesn't wrestles beautifully.
Yes, he does.
And his takedowns are freaking awesome. And he times it so well. And he is Matt Hughes #2 as far as he likes to pick people up, walk them around the cage, and here comes the dump. And he does it time after time after time. But Barton technically is the slicker guy. Yeah. Doesn't mean he'll win, but I think it's a great matchup. Go ahead. You can now talk about Soren Bach and Charlie Leary.
No, I think, but I love Diatta. He's undefeated. He's kind of a higher level prospect that Bellator's very has been love working with. Yeah. I think the speed factor is going to be an issue. I think the way that Diatta fights carelessly, but he also has the conditioning to keep going at a pace that most fighters can't keep up with.
True.
So he will mix it up, even though, like you said, he's not a wrestler, but he wrestles. Yeah. And he does it in good fluidity in terms of his transitions from the wild stand-up to the takedown, the control a little bit, and then backs out and lets you back up. He'll mix this fight up to where Barton's going to have to be a little bit more cautious with his stand-up to make sure that he closes the distance and having to pick and choose his shots. He can't just think it's going to be a stand-up fight because this thing will not just be a stand-up fight.
Yep.
So...
All right, go ahead, Soren Bach.
Well, the reason why I'm on the Soren Bach thing, he's gonna try to wrestle fuck Charlie Leary.
He's not gonna try to wrestle fuck Charlie.
He's gonna wrestle fuck him.
He's going to wrestle fuck Charlie Leary.
I'm high on Soren Bach only because I want to see him start getting that next level of competition. Why not him and Brent Primus? Why not him versus Mamedov? Why not those fights? What are we doing?
I agree.
This kid's got, what is he, 14-1? I can't see, my eyes are so damn bad.
This guy wins against guys like Paddy Pimblett. He beat Paddy Pimblett.
So he beat.
He also, what's the other big win? I can't think of it. But look,
he only has one loss.
The guy can wrestle, and the guy is tenacious. He comes in there looking like a Viking. It's awesome. You know, he wears the fur stuff, but he, man, overall. I love Charlie Leary. I call him a zombie. He just keeps coming forward. He's not going to come forward because he's going to be on his back, and he's just going to be accepting damage. He better figure out a way to slow what Soren Bach does on the ground. He's got to look for the submissions. He could try to work his way back to his feet. It's just going to be wasted energy, in my opinion, because Soren Bach is just going to return him right to the mat.
Yeah,
he's that good with it. So Leary really needs to look for those submissions on the ground and if the opportunity comes, try to latch onto it. But Soren Bach, there's a reason why he's only got one loss. The dude's a stud.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, hey, that's going to wrap up our Bellator talk as well. And we're going to move into a couple little stories real quick in terms of news podcast. Dave, what do you got for us?
Yeah.
Let's go,
So
Dave.
first one we'll touch on real quick is Dan Hooker announcing that he's going back to lightweight, and he says, put a fork in it. I'm out of the conversation at featherweight.
Thank God.
Smart.
Thank God.
Yes. I almost feel like John, he has the ability, his size and his body, and the way I've seen him
He
perform.
can go to welterweight.
Exactly. The way I've seen him
He would
perform in the
perform
gym
better.
when he's not cutting weight, seeing him perform in the gym against guys like Izzy and other guys that are in that gym that are bigger than him. He's got that level of tenacity, the aggressiveness, all those things. He's not afraid to go anywhere because he's not having to worry about cutting the weight.
And he's got the frame to go to 170.
Yeah.
He's 6 foot. He honestly, I think he's listed at 6 foot. He's easily 6'1".
Yeah.
He is long as far as his reach. The extra 25 pounds from the featherweight, which you went to, which I said was crazy. His speed will equate at welterweight. He'll do well with the speed. He'll actually be the faster fighter now. He's not going to give up anything in strength. He's a strong dude. That's your weight class. Go to it. Look at guys like, Masvidal and guys that switched up and went, and look at how happy they were, and look at what they've done. You can do the same thing. Don't stop at lightweight. Go all the way to welterweight.
Yeah. I think even the lightweight cut is kind of getting to him.
Yeah, go to welterweight.
Yeah. The only problem,
he could walk around because I think he said he was walking around somewhere at 185. Right?
yeah, he's probably doing that on purpose so he doesn't have to kill himself to get to 55. He still kills himself. But I'm saying, if he was going to fight at 70, he'd probably walk 200. Easily,
Okay.
I think. His body frame would easily accommodate that.
Well, 170 is your weight class, man. 170 is your weight class.
I would have to agree with you. I think he'll have a longer career as well. I think his chin will be a little bit better as well at that weight class.
Yep.
The endurance to go the full, distance. Like when he fought Dustin, right? He slowed down in the end because of that weight cut problem.
Look at where Dustin's at. 170.
Well, he's still at 155.
Yeah, he's him in a
But I'd love to see that fight run it back at 170. Both of them being fit. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
Do that. But good for him. Good for him. I'm glad he made that decision. 145 was fucking nonsense
Too much.
anyways. I'm glad that he decided to do it that way. Great job, buddy. Good job. I'm glad you were listening to us. All right. Anyways, next one.
We have another UFC London fight announcement. Darren Till fighting Jack Hermanson. And this is the July card.
All right.
And this will be our last.
Well,
story, by the way.
I'm wondering if his time with Chimaev has given him some confidence in terms of stuff and takedowns.
Maybe it has.
Maybe there's the ability to get back up. Maybe because Chimaev did the Hermanson wrestling match, like, you can beat him. Let's work
This
on
is
this,
what he
this,
likes
and
to
this.
do. Here, let's work
Yeah,
here.
buddy, let's take this fight.
Yeah.
Possibly. Chimaev maybe helping him with all those little things that he believes. I mean, I think, obviously on the feet, there's no comparison. I think Darren Till smashes him on the feet, and I think Hermanson smashes him on the ground. So this becomes whoever can implement their game plan.
Yeah, but the difference is Hermanson can stay on the feet with Till for a while. I don't see Till staying on the ground with Hermanson for very long.
I guess I can agree with that. I don't know. Darren can get back up to his feet, I think.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, who knows? The new buddy system with Chimaev may have played off. You never know. I mean,
it's the buddy
See,
system.
is Chimaev cornering him?
Well, I don't know. Till was in his corner.
Yep. I mean, this is a way to think about it. All right. Well, we'll figure it out.
Next one.
All right. Well, hey, I'm interested in that fight. I want to see how good Darren Till looks. He's had a little bit of a time off, to work on his skills. Is that it, Dave? That's all we're doing for news today?
We're done.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. I mean, we're up at an hour and a half right now, so we're gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna
talking way too.
We're gonna film a couple more shows, and then you guys are gonna get on the road.
Yeah, I gotta order these shirts.
Gotta go to France.
Gotta go to France. I know my
I
car's
gotta
gonna
go
pick
to
me up in a couple hours. All right, guys. Well, hey, go to weightinpodcast.com. Pick up some of our merch, as Big John likes to call it, swag. Okay, pick up some of that. We've got the hashtag and still shirt is available, as well as Joshisms. They are plentiful around this podcast. If you guys haven't heard them, let me remind you as we continue to go. Hindsight is 50-50. We have that shirt because you all know that hindsight is 50-50. Okay, and I've never heard it being called anything else. Hindsight's 50-50. That's a Joshism for you.
Oh, that's a Joshism, all right.
Street Fighter shirts. We've got all sorts of shirts available. Hoodies, sweaters, long sleeves, different colors, all different designs. So check that out. We even have a coffee mug that says Weighing In with our newest logo. Our OG logo is available on there as well. And hey, pick it up, man, at weightinpodcast.com. Post a picture of you guys wearing it. We want to thank you guys so much for supporting us. And John, take us away.
For everyone out there, we hope you enjoyed. Have fun watching the fights. Go out there and do something good for somebody else. Make their day special, and we will see you.